for Miguel Pupo. There are the official results of the final of the third QS 10,000 of the season. Miguel Pupo 16.87 against Jake Marshall's 14.43. A good result on paper and an excellent outcome, no matter, of course, Jake Marshall by making the finals. We'll just confirm again, is the highest ranked American on the qualifying series at this stage.
Yeah, so great opportunity for him. Let's think about points for Pupo, because that is essentially the entire reason we're here. We talked about that magic 18,000. We think the cutoff's going to be around about there. It's hard to say exactly the different number of total points on offer, but this win here, this nets him another 10,000. And by the time you factor in the score that he replaces, he comes with 17,900. So just 100 shy of that cutoff of 18,000. So he's looking pretty good. Nothing definitive, but pretty good, Giggsy, with some big events to come. Yes, of course, 6 QS 10,000s this year. We're now at the halfway mark, so to speak, of the QS 10,000 chapter. And of course, this year, the third one. Miguel Pupo taking the win, taking the full 10,000 points here. The boys will be celebrating long into the night here. That's cold in there, Giggs. I can confirm that. I went for a little body wump in my shorts this morning, and it's freezing in there, so I'm really impressed with Samuel getting in there in his T-shirt. Well, all credit to young Sam Pupo, younger brother, now just celebrating there. Of course, Sam Pupo, we've seen him as a wild card at the championship tour level already, so the talent in the family is there. And right now, it's all about older brother Miguel. It's just the emotion spilling out. We know how important it is. That's Jadson Andre down there. Of course, Jadson is leading the qualifying series. And now the celebrations will start for Team Brazil here, as they should. I love this. And you know what? They've even gone one step better with the checks. They didn't even wait for him to get on the beach. They grabbed him in the water, kind of waist-deep water. They went and fetched him. And I absolutely love this. There's that brotherhood. Obviously, with his younger brother Samuel, but Jadson Andre, I mean, look how stoked Jadson is as well. You know, he lost on a finals day that we were all thinking he's in a really good shot, and just love the way that as soon as that happens to our surfers out of Brazil, they instantly support their compatriot that's still in. Beautiful scenes, Giggs. Yes, of course. When we woke up this morning, Jadson Andre and Miguel Pupo were on opposite sides of the draw, so we didn't really speculate any cross-reference discussion of those two surfers. You know, we thought, well, yeah, maybe they would get to the finals together, but all credit to Miguel Pupo, who's kind of slipped on the quieter side of discussion as well. He's just moved his way through heat by heat here, and now the tradition of the chair all the way up to the podium for the winner here in Pantin in Spain. What a story for Miguel Pupo. And you know, this is we go back to, we were introduced to him at championship to a level already all the way back in 2011. Yeah, seems like a long time ago now. And it was that young kind of up-and-comer story. We're like, okay, what's this? This is something new. This is someone who's going to do airs. He's smooth. And he was a breath of fresh air when he first got on tour. He did well to stick around for a while. It just did feel like maybe surfing just kind of fell out of favour a little bit. A lot of other things went on. As I mentioned before, a lot of other surfers came up around him. And it's great to see that comeback story now. And he's looking pretty good. We're not deciding anything, but he's looking pretty solid for getting a spot in 2020. Yep, he is a great all-rounder. Of course, remember back in 2012, he'd get all the way to 9th in the Pipe Masters. And that was pretty much his full-time year on tour. And Miguel Pupo can really put it in the big stuff, but he's really got his beach break game down in 2019. And a worthy winner here. Smooth, powerful surfing combinations and maneuvers. And Paul will talk about it for a while, of course, still. But his two scores in this here final were made up of big, powerful combinations of turns and then putting the cap on top with the progressive punts into the air. Yeah, definitely. And you can't help but be impressed by that. It's all about, first of all, getting the opportunities, but then taking them when they come. There can be that tendency to maybe try and overdo it as well. You can even put pressure on yourself with your own performances in the early rounds, and maybe, you know, everyone's expecting to take to the air. So really impressive to see how he could mix it up using those combinations. He's just showed us a bit of everything. He's a good competitor as well. Let's not get away from that. You know, just talk about surfing from the sake of surfing, but it's worth bringing up as well. Miguel Pupo, he knows how to put heat together. He knows how to compete. All those kind of situations, that experience that you talked about, and comes together beautifully and turns into a win. Great job. Absolutely. We're talking and digging into the win here of Miguel Pupo, of course, the third QS 10,000 of the year. And really,
as we mentioned, he kind of slipped on the quieter side of discussion. We had a lot of discussions hinging on Jadson Andre. There were other topics that we got stuck into. We didn't really over-focus on Miguel Pupo, but a great run all the way down that silent side of the draw, so to speak.
Yeah, just kind of slips streaming through, and you know, we think about sometimes that sort of peaking too early story and just that energy, maintaining that energy, maintaining that form. The most important time to do it, of course, is finals day. That's exactly what he's done.
A well-navigated week here in Spain for Miguel Pupo. Yeah, I'm just milling over the way he put those scores together. You know, they were solid. He picked the best waves in the final. There's no question of that. And really, look, it was precision surfing on the backhand from Jake Marshall. We've spoken about it all week long. He really was on point, but Jake did not find the quality waves in that final. And, well, all kudos to Miguel Pupo here. Yeah,
well, certainly, you know, even compare that early wave that Jake rode. The waves that Miguel got after that, the sets were basically like twice the size and just so much more energy and impetus to them. Dealing with that speed really, really well and just looking such good value with the variety of the repertoire as well. So just ticking so many boxes down here. He's always a popular surfer wherever he goes. Super nice guy, humble athlete. And he's been really good value for this win. A new champion in Pantin, of course. We've been talking 30-plus years. We're going to have a new name on that honours board as he come into the Surf Village. Yeah, it's a wonderful story. And, of course, the upgrade of this has the same amount of points as the US Open of Surfing, the same as Bolido, the same as Sunset, and, of course, Haleiwa as well. An addition of an extra QS 10,000 on the schedule. The opportunity's been seized. The points have been cashed. And we're ready to listen and hear from our winner, Miguel Pupo. He is down there, and he's just soaking up the moment with Shannon.
What an incredible day. It's been a long road and an emotional victory for you here, Miguel. Some words for all that are watching.
There's no words, I think, and just want to thank God. It was a hard week, you know, a few hard years too. But just happy for sure. And yeah, I just want to thank my family, my wife, my kids, my dad, my mom as well. It's been a tough few years, and they stuck with me. They keep giving me power to keep going, and I stopped believing in myself a few years ago. Now I'm back here, so thank God. Thank you.
What an amazing effort. You're making my eyes well as Miguel. This is just absolutely incredible. What does it mean to you to win here? Is this the largest win for you, the most important one?
It's funny because I walked the first day and I saw the wall with all the names. And I kind of thought with myself to write my name on it at the end of the week. So I brought the pen. I'm going to write it down for sure. Thank you.
Well, it's emotions. It's all overflowing here. And, you know, the one thing that Miguel says there very openly is I don't think we understand that buckle in the road that it was for Miguel there a couple of seasons back.
Yeah, really frank and honest there. Yeah. And we talk about, you know, sport loves a comeback story, right? What's better than seeing someone kind of, you know, doing well, getting knocked down and kind of going a little bit into the wilderness, a little bit into oblivion. We maybe didn't appreciate quite how bad that was. He even said he stopped believing in himself for a while. And that's a really heavy thing for an elite athlete to do because confidence is everything. And it's an amazing story for him. I'm really happy. And, I think collectively, everyone that's been around surfing for a little while will know what a nice guy and how well respected he is. What a great story, Giggs.
Oh, it is. It was just emotion spilling over there. Of course, credit to Jake Marshall as well. He's going to be rocketing up that qualifying series rankings. We're going to take a quick break and we'll be back for the prize giving. We're going to honor our champions here in beautiful Pantin in Spain. What a moment.
Using plastic at our events has always been the norm. Recycling helps, but most plastic still ends up here, or worse, here. Plastic never goes away, because with plastic, there is no away. At the rate we're going, by 2050 there will be more plastic in the ocean than fish. It's a deep problem. But there are steps we can all take. By cutting out single-serve plastics at our events, we can start turning back the plastic tide. This is our commitment for a stronger ocean. What's yours?
I just ran all the way from Bells Beach to tell you that the king is back! Grab my board! Surfers from Australia have banded together. I think surf booties are cool.
You are a certified badass.
What's up, Chris Cote here with some breaking news.
Literally.
Have you seen the clip?
Boom! Chris, can we get some more news, please?
I just ran all the way from Bells Beach to tell you that the king is back! Grab my board! Surfers from Australia have banded together. I think surf booties are cool.
You are a certified badass.
What's up, Chris Cote here with some breaking news.
Literally.
Have you seen the clip?
Boom! Chris, can we get some more news, please?
Well, finals day, done and dusted. It's in the history books. At QS 10,000 now, well, what a final we just saw. I mean, I'm still harping on the emotions of Miguel Pupo there. I mean, you know, we see athletes go through that moment of just emotional release, but wow, that was tears aplenty.
Yeah, definitely. You know, and those comeback stories, that's something I think everyone can kind of relate to them a little bit in kind of anything in life, whether it's sport or something else, just something really cool, whether you're like a massive surf fan or whether you just follow it a little bit. You can't help but appreciate seeing someone, you know, maybe lose a little bit of their status, a little bit of their position in the world, in the universe. And it's so cool to see all the momentum back with him. And we don't want to get ahead of ourselves. We're not confirming anyone's qualification, but if it's 18,000 points, he's on 17,900. He's very, very close, Gigs.
Well, of course, it's just moments before we do the official update of those qualifying series rankings. That picture not changing too much. Jadson Andre going up into the lead now and well over the 20,000 point mark. Of course, we came here with Jorgen Kuzene in the lead. He's dropped down now, settling in at about third there, Paul. Alex Ribeiro, care of a good run here at the QS 10,000, is jumping up to second.
Well, we've shaken up the ratings, but, you know, they're not going to stay like that for very long. So that's the cool thing about what's going on, because we're going to the Azores next week for 6,000 points up for grabs there, so another big event. And then straight after that, we're coming back to Ericeira. There's another 10,000. So before the end of September, we're just going to keep stirring that pot. I love it.
Yeah, and we saw that this where people down in the 50s and 60s rocketing up. You look at the young Australians making finals day in Morgan Sibilik, and of course the other very unknown names, Caleb Tancred. These kids are coming out of the board riders in Australia, straight onto a year or two of juniors, having a knock on the qualifying series here, and rocketing way up. So it's a great story.
Well, I'm really looking forward to seeing, you know, we talk about that momentum and seeing the surfers that perform really well over here. Are they going to bring that over into Azores? Or maybe people had a little bit of a shocker, or maybe people that were flying well earlier in the year haven't really made anything going here. They might have something to say. You know, we're kind of watching what's going on. They'll try and just pick up a little bit of the buzz, maybe try and get themselves back in the story. What a compelling situation unfolding.
Remember, there's a whole bunch of names that are starting to get pressure on themselves. I'm just thinking names like Connor O'Leary. I'm thinking names like Jack Freestone. And there's many, many more to that. Jesse Mendez, those all guys sitting low down on the Jeep leaderboard right now on the championship tour side of discussion. And the fact of the matter is that by the end of September, we're going to even further crystallize the picture of qualification in 2020. We're just moments away now from the official award ceremony. And that's the hardware on offer. That's going to make the way to the living room of Miguel Pupo. And, of course, Jake Marshall's going to get that runner-up trophy.
Cool as well that Miguel touched on those names down as you come into the little village here. We were talking about it earlier as well. He said he saw those names, wanting to get himself on there. And we have been talking about it a lot, but it is a feature. You know, some Q events haven't been going for as long as this one. 30-plus years. This has been a huge event in Europe. It's one of the reasons why the crowd's so big. The crowd's been a major story down here today, bringing that energy, bringing the support. I mean, there are so many people on the grass down here. They're almost like coming in our booth, right? They're kind of like, I think that's a first for me. I haven't seen that before. So capacity crowd down here and just loving it, absolutely loving it. What a great day of surfing.
Now, of course, Pantene carries so much history and tradition. Of course, looking at that winners board that Miguel referred to last year, Wesley Dantes got the win. Of course, those were all when they were QS 3000s. Jorgen Kuzenes fetched points here in 2017. Kanoa Igarashi, the winner in 2016, and you reel it all the way back, you see names like Marlon Lipke and Aritz Arambura getting wins here. Billy Stearman brought himself into the limelight, so to speak, all the way back in 2010. Big William Cardoza got back-to-back wins here all the way back in 2009, 2008. Pat Gadowski's got a win here in 2006, and you just go back down. Maz Quinn is a winner. TJ Barron was a winner here as well. Just so many names here as you just peel it back. Eric Rivera back in 2003. Sean Sutton. Remember those names, Paul? Back-to-back wins there for him. Names like Sonny Russell. Joel Parker back in 1999 in his year where he won the J-Bay event as a wild card. That was still qualification year. So Pantene played a part for Parko back in the history books.
Well, the other thing about this, it always comes this time of year. So end of August, start of September. And obviously, you know, the points would be equivalent for whatever it's rated that year as another event early in the year, but it just seems to matter more now. You know, you're coming off that back straight. You're coming into really starting to crystallize on those ratings and see where we are. And it just seems like it counts more. And it definitely feels like that this year too.
Yeah, absolutely. Of course, that winners list just reels all the way back to 1988. Of course, now 31 years of crowning champions here in Galicia, in Pantene, in Spain. And we're just moments away now from plugging into our finalists. And like you see, there's a little bit of chitter that it is pretty cold. That water's been freezing all week long. So the boys will be wanting to just stay warm and celebrate as we're almost ready to throw it down to Peter Mel for the award ceremony. Just see all the festivities here. You're talking about people celebrating. This grass in front of us during the finals was absolutely packed. It was real sports festivities.
Yeah, well, the other cool thing as well about Pantene and the Pantene Soundwaves is shortly after this podium, that's going to turn into a dance floor down there. And it starts early. Generally, in this part of the world, in Spain, festivities start pretty late. They go on pretty late. The cool thing about this event is we start pretty much on the end of the early afternoon. So this will just turn into a celebration of high-performance surfing, into a bunch of music and good times. I can't wait.
Yeah, absolutely. The Spanish know how to celebrate. We are now ready to throw it down to the prize giving of the ABANCA Galicia Classic Surf Pro. Let's throw it down to Peter Mel and honor our champions.
Check, check. Here we go. So we'll wait for the broadcast. Should we do it like the other day? I do like a little introduction and then I pass it over to you. Then you do it in English and then I just translate. Bueno, muchísimas gracias a todo el mundo. Buenas tardes. Al igual que con la entrega de premios de las chicas, vamos a intentar hacer lo mejor posible. La entrega tiene que ser en inglés, ya que está retransmitida para todo el mundo. Y para ello tenemos aquí al gran Peter Mel. Pero en fin, tenemos un minuto para dar las gracias en castellano. En primer lugar, un fuerte aplauso a todos vosotros y vosotras. Aupa Pantene y Aupa, este gran público. Muchísimas gracias. Eso es lo primero, a todo el público y a los locales. En segundo lugar, a los organizadores y a los patrocinadores, al igual que a las instituciones públicas, muchísimas gracias. Un fuerte aplauso también a todos los sponsors. Venga, aplaudir, que sin ellos no hay ni doble 10.000 ni campeonato de longboard. Las cosas como son. Y sin más ni más, un fuerte aplauso para Peter Mel, que es todo un honor tener a una leyenda aquí presentando en riguroso directo. Go for it, Pete.
Buenos a todos. Mi español es muy malo, so I will speak in English, and of course our boy here will take care of the Spanish. What an event. The WSL is so happy to be able to be back here in Pantene and see the upgrade to this event. I think the athletes have been very happy. We saw the level rise. I mean, especially a big hand for all the surfistas who put together such a great show.
Dice que es todo un placer estar aquí y ver cómo este evento ha sido promocionado a una categoría de 10.000 y una ovación, por favor, para los surfers que están ahí.
Our first award for the evening will be our best wave trophy, and with that, with a 9.4, and if you all saw the highlights, was an amazing air by David Silva. So congratulations, David Silva. Giving our award, come on up, our award is Jaime Perozo, who is responsible for the sports marketing and sponsorship of Hijos de Herrera. So thank you very much.
Bueno, es el premio a la mejor ola del evento, un 9.40 por ese increíble alley-oop para David Silva, y hace entrega del premio Jaime de Cabreiro A y Estrella Galicia.
And now to our athletes who finished in an equal third and been on a great roll, and hoping to keep that roll going on into the next few events. But I know a crowd favorite, and also soon to become one of the crowd favorites in equal third, we have Jadson Audrey and Morgan Siblick. So congratulations to them. Step up on the stage, boys.
Suben al podium los terceros del evento, Jadson Andre y Morgan Sibilic. Un fuerte aplauso una vez más. En español el aplauso. Que se note. Para los terceros clasificados.
And handing out the trophies are Jaime Perozo and Ana Lamas, representative of the Coruña's provincial government. So thank you for your support.
Una pequeña anécdota. Jadson Andre encontró un gato hace 5 días en la basura, lo han estado alimentando. Mañana se tienen que ir, así que si alguien quiere hacerse cargo del gato, cuando acabe la entrega de premios, nos acercamos a Jadson Andre.
And now to our finalists. A huge congratulations to our runner-up, a young American who you will know very soon, as if you don't know now. I'd like to congratulate Jake Marshall, moving up the rankings all the way into the top 10 at number 8 on the qualifying series. Any of this? Big hand for Jake Marshall.
Un fuerte aplauso, por favor, para el segundo clasificado. Quedaros con esta cara. Ha subido hasta la 8ª posición en los rankings internacionales, Jake Marshall.
And of course, handing out this award, Sergio Saavedra, our sports counselor of the City Council of Valdiviño. So thank you for your support. I better get off the stage because this is going to be a good one.
Keep going, Pete. Keep going.
Oh, no.
Come on, Pete.
All right. Well, it's been a long road and an amazing comeback for this surfer. He has had his time in the winner's circle, but it has been a long time between drinks. I'd like to congratulate and show your champion, Miguel Pupo, and giving the winner award, Roman Rodriguez from the Tourism and Cultural Councilor of Junta de Galicia. Thank you very much. And this is the time when I get off the stage.
Bueno, ahí está el ganador, el gran Miguel Pupo. Un fortísimo aplauso una vez más para él.
One more time, a big round of applause for your champion, Miguel Pupo. And of course, boys, I'll send it back to you in the booth.
Bueno, parece que la retransmisión en inglés ha acabado ya. Pete, should we share the mic with Miguel?
Oh, yes, of course. We want to hear from it. Can I get up on? No, come on down. Few words for our champion. Miguel, I mentioned it had been a long time since we've seen you on the winner's podium. What have you been doing to get to this place and celebrate this championship?
First of all, I want to thank God. You know, He gave me the strength to be here, and thank my family too. This is one for my wife, she's been through some thin times right now, and she was with me when I got disqualified from the CT, and it was a hard time for me getting dropped from major sponsor. And after I had my kids, and she gave me so much of strength too. So this one's for her, and I want to thank all the event organizers as well, and thank you for the event. This is probably one of the best QSs I've been to. You know, everything. We have food, we have all the comfortable stuff at the athletes area. So thank you so much. You guys work hard, I know, and thank you very much for what you do. And ahora, gracias a todos en la playa. Mi español no es de los mejores, pero qué energía tienes todos. Muchas gracias por todo. Gracias.
Venga, un fuerte aplauso, por favor, para Miguel. Pupo decía que dedicaba el trofeo a su hija, que le ha dado la energía para volver a lo más alto e intentar recalificarse al CT. Bonitas palabras de Miguel. Vamos a proceder a la foto oficial de los galardonados, de los campeones. Ahí está, la foto con las autoridades, por favor. Por muchos años más de Pantin Classic. Vamos ahí, esa foto.
Well, festivities are about to start here in beautiful Pantin in Spain. Of course, in the history books now, the third QS 10,000 of the year, done and dusted. A female winner in the form of Amuro Suzuki. And, of course, Miguel Pupo taking those full points. What a festive time. I'm already hearing the music getting turned up in the background. The Spanish now to celebrate, Paul.
I told you it's going to turn straight into a dance floor from that podium. Cool to see. Pupo's actually got his name on the back of his wetsuit. I noticed earlier, so can't be too many winners have had their name on their wetsuit, so I like it. It's a nice touch from him, and super cool words. Again, that emotion on the podium just coming through, and I just love a comeback story.
Yeah, you start with 112 surfers on the men's side. You started with 60. There's close to 180 surfers we've had to dig through here this week. It's an amazing story, and as you would expect here with the addition of the third QS 10,000 of the year, those rankings are going to continue to jump and change. Have a look at the new top 10 on the qualifying series. Jadson Andre has gone up into the lead, and Jorgen Kuzene is going to settle down at fourth. Miguel Pupo, care of his win here, is up to third. But, Paul, have a look. Jake Marshall is in there.
Yeah, well, it's Jorgen Kuzene and Baron Mamiya who've slipped, and Yegadora who's slipped down, basically. So everyone else on there has made progress, but really impressive story from Pupo. Of course, our winner in third. Just I touched on it earlier, though. The cool thing is that we're going to stir this pot again real soon. We're going to go over to the Mid-Atlantic in the Azores for 6,000 and then bring it back for another 10 just down the coast in Portugal. So by the end of September, we could have some brand new names coming up, which is going to be really interesting to see. Some surfers that aren't in the top 10. There'll be some people lurking down there, just kind of sharpening their daggers, Gigs.
Well, a couple of Australians sitting in the top 10 there. Liam O'Brien's dropped down to 10th. Saw Maddie Banting sitting nicely with the quarterfinal finish here, finishing and settling at 5th. And, of course, it's September. It is that time of the year with this in Spain done. Now the Azores comes up a QS 6,000. And then, of course, over to Ericeira for another 10,000. Lots to talk about. Stay with us with the qualifying series. So much to follow. And we'll leave you with the highlights. It's goodbye from myself, Gig Celios and Paul Evans. We'll see you from the Azores.